Well, hello everyone, welcome to my review of Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game. Yeah, I was supposed to have reviewed this during Halloween, really. However, all things went wrong, so I thought, how about if I just did it like in between Halloween and winter, because it's not actually winter yet during this review. So therefore it's like after Halloween, before winter. Well, that's my story anyway. That is a complete lie, but that's what this game is. Half of it is about stories and possibly lying. So let's get to it, shall we? So the rule book is quite simple. It hasn't got that many pages in it. It tells you about the cards and what they do, the game board itself and the components, and how to set up the board. If I just turn it like that, they have the main game board itself and 6 locations of where you want to go with your survivors. These are supposed to be the player characters and all that. But that's exactly how it tells you to set up, and that's what these actually do with player turns. And well, after when everyone had their turn, it goes to the colony phase, which is like paying for food and adding more zombies, and to see if the main objective has been completed, because that's the only time. Right there, check main objective. Oh yeah, gives you everything that you need. Exile, how hilarious. Voting, very important, give or take. And then of course we've got the variant gameplays. Cooperative, where you take out these things, which is the non-cooperative symbol on your cards. So you go through all those decks, take them out. The 2-player variant, betrayer variant, and hardcore, of course, which I'll get into very shortly. And player elimination, where of course in this game is if you lose all your survivors, you just lose all your cards and pick up a new survivor, just like that. With this one is if you lose all your survivors, that's game over. But this is just gameplay variants. And when I talk about stories, these are the stories, really. The main objective stories and betrayal stories as well, because you have 2 different kind of objectives, which is a simple normal objective and a betrayal objective, where, well, this is where the lying can come into play. That's really it. It's very basic, very simple, very short read. Now let's get into the more gritty part, shall we? And this is the board, which is actually quite small really, but it has all the space that you need. So you're putting all your survivors here, any zombies around the colony here, this is literally called a colony, and a few other little bits and pieces here and there. Well, of course, 6 location cards where you have places to put your survivors. Yeah, you can only have so many. Like, of course, the police station can have 3, school can have 4, and these are how many zombies you can actually put into this location. Yeah, it's actually a lot more tense, really, when there's a lot more zombies on the board. Oh dear. These are your listen tokens. What happens is that when your survivor is on one here, you can actually make an action to either kill a zombie or search or attack another survivor or barricade these parts so zombies can't actually rush in. Really, when it comes down to it, it's all about moving, killing zombies and searching for cards. So here's your search deck. Well, there would be a search deck if I actually placed them on here, but I want to make it more simples because that's where you put your search deck. But of course, there's actually specific decks. This one states as a school, and there'll actually be search cards for the schools. There'll also be like other places, of course, like the library will have the library deck, or the hospital will even have the hospital deck. So when you're searching, you draw a card and you keep it. Noises is you could draw more cards and then keep one and put the rest on the bottom. However, when it comes down to the end of phase, you discard a noise token on every location, and then you roll a dice. On the 3 or lower, a zombie comes into one of these. But then, if a survivor is on one of these, a zombie will automatically come onto this. Anyway, so what could you find? Well, maybe oh dear, the brightness on there. Sorry. Might find some medicine in the hospital, which makes sense. So you can remove wounds of any type. I'll get into that later. Or you could even find some food from the hospital, which gives you more food tokens. And you could also use them for re-rolling some of your action dice to get better results. Or just keep it in the colony for, well, food, because that's going to help you well, not lose the game quickly. You could also go to the gas station. You might even find some fuel. Well, you probably will find some fuel because it's the gas station. That will help you travel through the other areas. As I'm saying, one of the actions is traveling, but I'll get into more of that later. Or you could probably even go to the police station and get a trusty shotgun. Who wouldn't want a shotgun? I don't know. Anyway, traveling to these locations require using of a specific dice. Now, when you are attacking a zombie or going to a location, you roll this dice. On a blank, nothing happens. That's exactly what you want. However, let's say you get this one right here. This is a wound token. Well, that's it. The survivor takes the damage, and each survivor only has 3 health. This is a frostbite symbol, which is upside down. Frostbite is, well, any character that has a frostbite on there takes this symbol. There's tokens in the box. Well, you don't really want to have this because it's more like, think of it as poison. If you got this on your survivor, then they take a damage. So that means that'd be 2 damage. If that hasn't got rid of it, that's 3 damage and they're dead. Then you got the most horrid one of all. This is bitten, which means that survivor is dead. Oh dear. And let's just say, if we have a survivor in the library and someone goes to the library and they roll that result, that person's dead. However, it's also infected as well, so anyone else that's in the library, they have 2 options: kill that survivor and the infection stops there, or roll this dice. On the blank result, they're fine. On any other, they're dead, and the infection carries on. So let's just say there was actually another person there. This person rolls this, and then infection spreads to the other survivor, which could possibly just eliminate them all. How interesting. And quite funny as well. When I say funny, that's kind of sadistic funny. Ha ha ha. Right, well anyway, you also want to take note of your objectives. Too much Ace Attorney. Anyway, so when it comes down to completing your objective, that's it. Game is over. On the other side, you have the harder mode. So find a cure easy, find a cure hard. Winter has come on the hard mode. Winter has come on the normal mode. Normally it's just adding to more zombies and turn is lower. So game ends when turn reaches 0. Game ends when morale reaches 0, and this drops. This can actually drop a lot more quicker than rounds. Game also ends when your objective is complete. So, well, let's just say that you have all these secret objectives that everyone has. At the beginning of the game, well, you pick out 2 normal objectives for each player and 1 betrayal objective to each player. Then you shuffle them and you give 1 secret objective to each player. So in other words, all players might just have normal objectives. Why did it always flip upside down? There you go, that's put on the light. And someone else could actually have the betrayal. Or everyone could actually have normal. Normal objectives, of course, means everyone's going to be more cooperative. Betrayal means that someone could be actually telling lies and slightly sabotaging things. Like, some of the secret objectives require the morale to be 0, which... turn that off. Which this one is. You win the game if all of the following is true. Morale is at 0, and you're supposed to have some items and all that stuff. Whilst normal ones tend to be the main objective has been completed, and then your second part would be that none of the survivors you control have any type of wound tokens on them. Or even this one that main objective has been completed and you have at least 3 of those medicine card types in your hand. So literally the normal objective is complete the main objective, while betrayer is, well, they don't care about that really. It tends to be morale at 0, and like I said, the game ends when that reaches 0, main objective is completed, or rounds have been reduced to 0, which is all hilariously fun because of course that's where all the lying can come into play. When it comes down to it, you always set your survivors here, whether it's a soldier, a lawyer, even a dressed up mall Santa, hello Santa, or even your trusty dog. Let's get some light in there. There you go. Oh yeah. Now about these cards, which are your survivor cards. This is influence. It's mainly whoever gets the highest influence tends to go first, as long as that's their party leader. Let's call it a party leader. It'd be a little bit more easier to say. And the influence also is those that have the lowest influence will die when there's a zombie outbreak. Come back to that shortly. This means attack, which requires to kill a zombie, or even to attack another survivor. Just because. This is your search, where of course you require this to search. Just because you go to a location doesn't mean you do a search and pick up cards straight away. No, you need to have this. For this character is a 3+. However, there are others, like the Santa gets a 2+ to kill a zombie or hit a player, and 5+ to search, so he's not very good at searching. However, he has got a lower influence, so that means he's more than likely to die first. Then you have abilities, which some states where it needs to be, like anywhere, or others states a location, like colony or even a library or something. Well, that's great and all, but then when it comes down to a zombie outbreak, things could go horribly wrong. Especially when crisis cards are flipped up. For example, let's just make a very small deck. On the first turn, this card is flipped up, and then everyone takes a turn. Everyone can put some crisis cards right at the bottom, upside down, so no one knows what they are. So let's just say there's only, well, let's just say there's only 2 players, and one person's put a card down and another player puts another card down. So what happens if you fail? You place 1 wound token on all non-exiled survivors, and then they will lose a morale. That's if they failed. So yeah, okay, so they've got to get at least 2 of these if it's 2 players. And of course, game ends when morale drops to 0. Right, so the top card would be medicine, which is that symbol right there. So that's 1. Excellent, well done. And the other one is food, which is not, which means it's actually a 0. Because that equals a +1, and anything else equals a -1. So, like I said, things could go horribly wrong. And it's not just that. You could have even legions of death. So, whereas the fuel cards, and you fail, add 12 zombies to this colony where you could easily be overrun. Let's just say there was 3 there, and a lot more around, because you put 1 at 1, then another at 2, then another at 3, etc, etc, etc. If there's, all the spaces are gone, even if there's more, what happens is a zombie comes in, gets removed, and the one with the lowest influence is gone, which unfortunately is Sparky the dog. If let's just say another zombie actually came in when it's on 2, of course it comes in 2. Well, anyway, that's the slight gist of the game. It's literally all about trying to work together, or are they? Who knows? Oh jeez, it's a hilariously fun game where even your friends could actually be your enemies. I really do like the game a lot. It can be very tense when more zombies come into play, which of course they will. And well, everyone could win, everyone could lose, 1 person could win, 2 people could win. All depends on their objectives. Literally, it's all about either the main objective or the morale goes to 0. But apart from that, these other ones called exile, where people can actually vote to kick them out of the colony, which either is a thumbs up or thumbs down. And thumbs down, the majority wins. Then of course that player is kicked out of the colony, and they have to put their survivors on the library, gas station, school, etc., the other locations, and then they get rid of the secret objective, reveal it. If it's a betrayal, that's great. If it's not, then the morale drops by 1, and then they get a exiled objective instead. Well, anyway, I really do like this game a lot. It's absolutely fun. You get plenty of dice where you roll. It's only because at the start of the game you have 2 survivors, and you have as many dice as you have as survivors plus 1. So if you have 4 survivors, you get 4 dice plus 1. If you have 2 survivors, you get 2 plus 1. The more dice, the better it is. Well, that's really about it. Because, well, I'm saying the more dice, the better it is. That's because that's your actions. Like I was saying, searching, attacking. There's a few more bits and pieces, but that's really about it. Yeah, like I said, I really do like this game a lot. It's absolutely fun. And like I said, you don't know who your friends and allies are. Even once before, I thought that I knew that one person was a betrayer and someone else was just a normal person like me, just trying to get the job done. However, I was on my own and they were both betrayers. Yeah, thanks, I lost the game. Oh dear, thank you very much. Well, anyway, yes, like I said, let's get on with it. I think I will have to give this game I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. It does take a while to set up, but hey, that's what you get for having lots of cards everywhere, including lots of other little bits and pieces like dice, more cards, and location cards, and zombie cutouts, and survivor cutouts, and these stands as well. Oh, there's so many stands, and so many zombies, and so many everything. No. Anyway, thank you very much. Until next time. Bye.